on some sunscreen and let's call it summer. It's June, so crack out your bullet journal and let's get doodling. June is the month of the summer solstice. In the UK we have the longest day, and it makes me think of strawberries and sunshine and warmth. So that's going to be our theme for this month. I'm going to stop waffling, we're going to get right on with it, so crack out your bullet journal, let's do it! Chop chop! If you're new to bullet journals and wondering what the heckity heck I'm talking about, it's a way to totally customise your diary or journal, so it works perfectly for you. You'll find out more information in this video, so you can watch that after this one as you won't want to miss the current theme. To draw the strawberries, it's a soft heart shape with a floppy hat on the top. The flowers have a round centre with 5 wide-ish petals and some lines protruding from the centre that makes the stamens and the pollen. The leaves have a jagged edge to them and they sit behind the flowers and the strawberries. For the title page, I just grabbed some yellows and starting with the palest, I'm building up the sunny colours in concentric circles to give the effect of the midday sun. I've used Crayola super tips as well as some Newdoer brush pens, which I'll link below. I'm using a Tombow Fudenosuke hard-tipped pen for this lettering. If you want a free lettering guide, I've got one in the description below. If you're new to my channel, well, hello! I post every fortnight, soon to be weekly, woohoo! I do tutorials on drawing and publishing, so subscribe and ding the bell notification so you don't miss any of my uploads. Meanwhile, back in Strawberry Land, I'm colouring in the leaves, this really lovely vibrant green colour with my Crayola super tip, and I'm going to put some little dots on my strawberries. Despite the fact that I'm actually drawing on dotted paper, I wanted to put some little dots in so that we know these are strawberries, and little yellow bits for the middle of the strawberry flowers. In last month's Plan With Me, we had the theme of rainbows, which I felt on the whole was quite successful. I liked the weekly plan layout, so I've kept it very similar for June. If you're interested in the numbers, it's 8 dots wide and 26 dots deep, split into 2 rows for events and tasks, with a further 2 rows halfway down, one for my dinner ideas and the other for a daily goal. However, the feisty amount of colour I used in May's Plan With Me left my bullet journal pages with a lot of bleed through. Generally, the Lemome journal that I'm using is very good, but it evidently can't take heavy-duty markers. With that in mind, I'm going lighter with the penwork this time, using predominantly yellow for our beautiful sun and red for the strawberries with a touch of green for the leaves. Over in the corner here, I'm doing statistics for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, MailChimp, and all the other things that I need to keep a track on. Now, you might notice that I've missed out the monthly spread this time. That's where you can transfer all your appointments or things to do from the yearly spread that you did right at the beginning of the year. I ended up just transferring information from my yearly spread in identical fashion, and it just felt like a bit of a waste of time. So I'm going to see how I get on with just using a weekly spread for June, and I'll get back to you in July and let you know how I got on. June starts on a Saturday, that's why I've given the first weekend its own page, and this is the first whole week spread. I don't give myself as many tasks and events on a weekend normally, so in the weekly spreads I'm just allowing Saturday and Sunday one column only. But if you have more stuff to do on a weekend, make sure you give them their own space and squash together 2 other days, whatever is most convenient to you. Write tasks and events down the side of the columns, and inside do a box for events and a dot for tasks. You can write the things you need to do next to them and cross them through as you've completed them. I've got some space down the bottom to write any ideas I get for YouTube or story ideas, or anything else that pops into my head like an industrious bee while I'm trying to catch up on housework. I've decorated it with more straw bows because there's never too many strawberries to look back at in the middle of December when it's cold and dreary and dark and you're desperate for something kind of sunny to look at or indeed eat. And my secret is to make the strawberries that I grow in my garden into jam so I can eat it in December and January when everything else is utterly miserable. If you're planning on doing a June spread for your journal and it's a different theme to mine, could you please comment down below what you're doing, as I'm always really interested and fascinated to see what everyone else is doing and what you think of in June. I haven't found a tracker that's really useful for me yet. Last month I tried a sleep tracker and I kept it up for about half of the month, but I found I was just reinforcing the idea that I generally get very disruptive sleep and it wasn't giving me that warm fuzzy feeling that I was hoping it would, so I stopped. I'm trying a health tracker this month, so if you want to give something like this a go, just draw yourself some columns and rows and keep a check on whatever it is that you need to. Some people keep trackers on water intake or mood or eating healthily, or even to keep a tally on finances, so this can be a really helpful tool. Now, to the bit that is increasingly becoming my favourite part of the journal, hand lettering. This is a quote from the American cartoonist Bill Keane, and it goes like this. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, which is why we call it the present. It's something that I heard many years ago, and I found it both to be quite clever and witty, and for a long time I could only remember part of it, and so it took me a bit of digging to remember exactly what it was. In fact, it took me a quick Google search, but you know, let's pretend I did lots of research for this. It's really saying just enjoy the moment and not worry about the before and the after. I've also heard it said that depression comes from living in yesterday and anxiety comes from living in tomorrow, and that's why what I think mindfulness is trying to teach our generations, that if you live in this moment, things aren't quite so scary. If you're interested in knowing what it is that I've been using to make this hand lettering, I've got the soft tip Tombow Fudenosuke pen and a fine liner, which I think was a 0.5, and then to colour it I'm using the Crayola Super Tips in green and red. Remember to press that subscription box while you're watching, and the bell notification's right next to it. That will tell you when I upload. It's every other Friday at the moment, but look forward to my launch soon to weeklies on a Friday. Woo! If you're enjoying doing your bullet journal, write a heart and bullet journal in the comments below. And if you have any requests for July, put it in the comments and I'll be sure to have a look. Give me a thumbs up if you've got one knocking around and you can spare it. I'm off to iron a sandwich and I'll see you next time. Nanu nanu.